Hi, everybody. Welcome back to Left Unread. Hey, Evan.
What's going on, Cam? This is the Left Unread podcast. That's right.
Yep.
And welcome back.
Yeah, welcome back to it. A lot has changed since last we spoke. I have my window open next to me.
Me too.
We are back in the... Well, I can't see because I
have Donald Trump as my
Donald
background.
Trump behind you.
In the NRA.
Yeah.
Him speaking at the NRA with a real nice coif to his hair, you know?
It looks good. It almost looks like they took a picture of him and then someone painted the hair on to the picture.
It almost looked like that, yeah.
Yeah. Like a brush stroke, like a Bob Ross brush stroke.
Yeah.
Happy little hair.
It's just a happy mistake, that hair.
I feel like this is that one sweet in-between time where
Yep.
we will neither be recording in freezing, horrible, cold temperatures or sweltering hot,
where we
sweaty.
have to, hurry up to finish because both of us are
Right.
pouring sweat.
Yeah, I have to, run the AC for an hour in advance and then turn it off because I don't want it to be in the background and then...
Yeah.
Wait as the room becomes
I think
more
there's been a couple
unbearable.
times, too, where we've taken a break in the middle to re-AC our rooms.
Yeah, for sure.
and I turn it back off.
Yeah, it's fucked up. But so for now we've got pretty nice weather. The only reason I even really mention it is because, if you folks hear some birds or something in the background, sorry, but I mean, hey,
The sounds of spring.
Spring has
ladies and
sprung.
gentlemen. Yeah, so have I. As a matter of
right?
fact.
Yeah. So yeah, this is gonna just be an episode where we talk about stuff that's going on.
Yeah.
A lot of projects in the pipeline. I'm still working on talking about the Mongols. Evan's got some top secret clandestine shit that he's working on. Some guests lined up and stuff. But in the interest of not missing more time while we live our lives.
We kind of got our times a little out of whack the last couple weeks, but we're coming back.
Yeah, work schedules, life schedules. Things happen.
Yep.
And until you guys start paying us a living wage,
We don't feel bad.
it's just never gonna stop. So I guess there's no, I don't have a specific segue. So why don't we just start the show? Because normally here we do all the talking, but the whole episode's just going to be talking.
The whole episode's going to be the talking. So let's just get to the getting there.
Let's get to the meat and potatoes. But first, a word from our theme song.
Theme song.
Yeah, we're back.
You're always there for us.
I know. Yeah, that thumping bass line and the sort of techno pulse of your I don't know what I would call that. Is that like the bridge, that last part where it's like, I don't know what I would call it in the structure of the whole song, but
Yep.
kicks ass. I still like it. Still makes me happy to hear.
Everybody's happy.
Shouts out to Interesting Times gang.
Shouts out.
So I definitely wanted to start the episode today with maybe the most important piece of news. We're recording today on... Oh, I don't want to open... I have my Mongols notes here, too. I don't want to read those.
Nope.
That's
a different episode.
That's a different episode.
Yeah, it's April 27th. Thursday, April 27th.
Yeah, as we sit here recording. And today, a day that we will all remember, the day
An American hero
has left us.
I expect the flags in remembrance to be flown at half-mast the rest of the year. Mm-hmm. We are, of course, talking about... What are we talking about, Cam?
We're talking about Gerald Norman Springer.
Yeah, Gerald Springer, Jerry.
My perhaps the most nationally beloved politician in United States history.
A man whose show I watched when I pretended to be sick and got to stay home from school.
I know. Yeah, he was. It was
that. It was that, and fucking
Maury.
And fucking The Price is Right.
Oh yeah.
And today the price is wrong.
Today the price is wrong because we're mourning the loss of Gerald Springer, who
didn't realize he was only in his 70s. He seems like he should have been a lot older because I felt like he looked like he was in his 60s. I used to watch him when I was a kid, like 20 years ago.
Yeah, he had one of those looks. I mean, I was looking at some older pictures of him today, and like when he was in his 30s, the man looked like he was in his late 50s. So like, but he aged really well because he's he's
one of those guys that ages fast and then stops for a long time.
Exactly,
kind of like the actor Chris Bauer, who in season 2 of The Wire is Frank Sabatka. He's he 33 years old. He's like 33 years old and literally obviously playing a guy who's like in his 50s because he has like a son in his mid-20s in that show. But and he looks basically the same now, even better because he's not a boozer anymore.
Yeah, right? That's what he said. He used to be like a big-time drinker and
yeah, he looked in his mid-50s and his early 30s, and he looks in his mid-50s now in his mid-50s.
Yeah, he looks great, and he's like lost a ton of weight and whatever. It's a shame that he doesn't do more stuff, because that season of that show doesn't get a lot of love, which is strange to me, because I loved it. I still haven't finished that show.
2 and 4 are my favorite.
I've been watching The Wire for years now.
Which
is funny because, you know, even like 10, 15 years ago, that wouldn't have seemed strange because everybody watched shows over the course of years. But now in the age of binging, I'm suddenly like a weirdo for liking to watch like an episode of a show every week. And
yeah, but you've been watching The Wire for like 8 years. So
no, I stopped during COVID.
Yeah, you started before COVID, right?
No, I didn't.
I think you tried watching it many years ago and then didn't.
No, because HBO Max did not exist. I didn't watch any of that shit.
That was your first time trying to watch it? HBO Max?
Yeah, I didn't watch The Sopranos. I didn't watch any of that stuff. Yeah. I did see Game of Thrones, but even that, I took like a hiatus when I no longer had access to like my parents' HBO on demand because I don't have cable. So as long as I've been living on my own, it was until HBO Max came out. So yeah, it's actually only been like 2 years. But that's hyperbole aside, I mean, that feels like a long time to people these days, especially people who like that show. That's a long time even then.
If you watch an episode a week, you would have finished that in a couple of years, and you're on like season 2.
Well, but then I take season breaks off,
Yeah,
like months at a time.
Yeah. So you restart when you get back into it. You restart.
Well, I did just restart, but that's for different reasons.
Yeah. Anyway.
So yeah, I digress. So Jerry Springer died today at his home in Chicago of pancreatic cancer. But he was an interesting guy, and I didn't know any of this shit about him until today, because he was just sort of always that like sick morning syndicated Drek that you would watch, and he's obviously known for the Jerry Springer Show, which I think he tried to start as like, or at least he claims he tried to start as like a legitimate talk show, but pretty quickly it seems devolved into like, well, what we all know and love, which is like mud. Yeah. And I don't know if he's like the originator of that format, but he certainly
Maury
was.
Povich is basically the same shit, so
Maury, there was Montel Williams, there was Sally Jesse Raphael, there was Ricky
And honestly,
Lake.
there's really only a difference in, I guess, degree when you get into like Judge Judy and shit like that. It's the same stuff.
Yeah.
There's people just rolling around in the mud, scratching each other, fucking fish hooks in the mouth.
And all that stuff is great.
Kicking each other in the balls and shit.
It's definitely, as long as the people are in on it and aware of what they're getting themselves into, fuck it. That's like good, wholesome entertainment. Who doesn't want to sit and watch like recaps of "You Are Not the Father" moments from Maury Povich? That shit rocks. Yeah. But so Jerry was definitely shit. Like the face of that type of TV for a really long time, and I learned a little bit about him today. So he was born in he was actually born in a London Underground station in 1944 in Highgate.
Like Metro?
Yeah, like the Underground is like their subway system.
Yeah, the Metro, yeah.
And well, it's called the Underground.
Yeah, I know. I was asking for clarification. Oh, you mean like a Metro system?
Sure, yeah. So they were using those as air raid shelters during the Blitz. And so his family was like sheltering underground while the Nazis were bombing the city. And so he was born. He was just born. February 13th, day before Valentine's Day, which I think should become Jerry Springer Day. Because that's sort of like the antithesis of Valentine's Day. It's like, yeah, if you've got like a healthy relationship and you're excited about it, sure, Valentine's Day. But if you don't, day before,
you get drunk and whip beer bottles at the
Jerry
wall.
Springer Day.
Yeah.
That's the day when you celebrate being excited that you didn't get your girlfriend pregnant, or admitting that you've been kissing your cousin for a long time, or fucking fill in the blanks. I don't know.
Yeah.
But so his parents were German Jewish refugees who had escaped to the UK, only then to be embroiled in that whole debacle where the Nazis were hitting the UK pretty hard. And they ended up relocating when he was 4 to Queens, New York, which is where he grew up, which is why he doesn't sound like a little Cockney lad. And so he actually went on to earn a degree in political science from Tulane University, and he got his Juris Doctor from Northwestern. So not a dummy.
Is it Juris Doctor?
Yeah. Not a dummy. And then so he actually went on to be a political advisor on RFK's presidential campaign.
Yeah, me, Pat, and Ian were talking about that today.
Interesting.
That he was a political that he was there when RFK got blackata.
Yeah, yeah, he got that. He got that gratata, that fucking buck. And so he decided that maybe politics wasn't for him, or at least not that way, and ended up opening a law office, becoming a blood-sucking lawyer. And eventually found his way back into like local politics, and I think he ran for Congress. He ran for something on the national level. That didn't work out. So he ended up running for Cincinnati City Council. So he's in Cincinnati at this point. Runs for Cincinnati City Council, gets elected, ends up having to resign a couple years later for admitting to soliciting a prostitute.
Hell yeah.
So he's in his 30s. I mean, he's like our age at this point when he's like, he's younger. He's in his 20s. And
he lived fast.
You're going to fuck.
He was already fucking a lawyer with RFK.
He was not just a lawyer. He was a partner in a law firm.
Yeah.
And ran for city council. And so he resigned in 1974 for solicitation of a prostitute. But a year later runs again and like wins in a landslide. His constituents fucking loved him. And I mean, Cincinnati's a heavily like Democratic city. It's one of those cities where like one political party just like dominates every year. And so he's running as a Democrat. He has a lot of support, whatever. And the way that Cincinnati worked in the 70s, and I think a little beyond that, is obviously the Democrats won every year, but they caucused and then split mayoral authority with this other party, the Charter Committee is the name of this third party. And they had this agreement where mayors were not elected directly by the populace. They were selected for one-year terms by the city council, and it alternated between a Democratic mayor and a Charter Committee mayor. And so for the 77 to 78 year, our boy Jerry Springer was mayor of Cincinnati.
Nice.
Which I think is interesting.
Skyline chili for all.
Dude, right? Like that speaking of chili, I made my last chili of the year, I think today, and it was so good. It had the right balance of peppers, 3 kinds of beans. I made it with ground pork and ground lamb. And of course my secret weapon, a whole bar of 96% pure dark chocolate.
Nope.
And man, was it good. I'm gonna shit my fucking pants tomorrow.
Anyway, so Jerry.
So what we can't. This is literally a filler episode. We can't talk about fucking chili.
We talked about it. Well, okay. What more would you like to talk about?
No, nothing. Now you're right. I guess I talked about everything. But...
well, yeah. I thought you got it all.
Okay. Well, I felt like I was bothering you. I felt like I was bothering you talking about chili.
No, I mean, if you've got more chili talk, then by all means.
When you make chili, do you make chili?
Yeah, I do sometimes, yeah.
When you make chili...
I use shadis.
Okay. Yeah, that's weird, but so...
Well, no, shadis and ground beef. Bam, put them together. Yeah, that's pretty normal. Actually, other people do it. So don't... So
actually, that's really normal. Actually, a lot of people do that. Actually,
I didn't come up with it.
I don't know if you knew this, but actually a lot of people prefer it that way. They say it's the best way.
Around here, yeah. Around New Betty. Yeah.
That's true. I'm surprised you don't put clams in it, you know?
That's not chili. Come on.
I mean, dude, you had some clams and potatoes in your chili. You know what? On a whim today,
I just make a lentejana. I'm like, I made Portuguese chili.
Yeah, it's Portuguese chili. I just dumped some beans into my fucking potato clam soup. So I was making this chili, and it just popped into my head because I was moving through my shelving, and obviously I had a couple cans of tuna. You always got to have a couple cans of tuna on hand.
There's always tuna. There's always tuna in the cabinet.
There's always got to be a couple cans.
Unless you're like a vegan or something.
Yeah, or you don't like tuna, which both are.
Everybody likes tuna. It's tuna.
Not everybody does. Not everybody likes canned tuna.
Chicken of the sea.
So anyway, I see it, and it just popped into my head. I was like, I wonder... anything that you can think of...
Did you put it in your chili?
No. Anything that you can think of, someone has already done, right? Like, you've never had an original thought.
You put it in your fucking chili, didn't you?
No, of course not, but I had the thought.
You sick fucking bastard.
I was like... I want to see
fucking pervert.
Not if recipes for tuna chili exist, but like how many and what they actually are. So I just typed into my browser tuna chili, and man, it's a thing. People fucking make chili with canned tuna.
Just admit it. Admit what you did.
So anyway, I used ground lamb and ground pork, and it was fabulous. I make a lovely chili, but tuna chili is a thing. People out there are eating tuna chili. And if anybody listening has had it or likes it,
turn this off right now. Don't listen to us again.
Well, I don't know. I feel differently. I'm super intrigued because I'm never going to do that, and I need to know what the deal is. I need to know why, how.
Why are you the way that you are, listener?
Yeah, like what's with turkey? I'm sorry. I keep saying turkey chili. Turkey chili's fine. I'm all for turkey chili. I don't mean to equate
that's
that.
Normal as fuck.
But tuna chili. Is an issue, and I need some closure on that one. So if anybody has insight into that, or some similarly odd combination, you know, like peanut butter and mint jelly sandwiches, like I want to know. I will never die. 1981, Jerry Springer steps down from city council, and he decides he's going to run for governor of Ohio.
Yep.
And he doesn't get it because, well, the prostitution thing comes back. Like, obviously. That's just how politics work. You can't admit to having sex with a prostitute at any stage in your political career. Even though they're all doing it, and they all do way worse shit. You know, we still like to pretend that, like...
keep it on the DL a little.
You do. You gotta pretend that you're just, like, a perfect person.
You can't get a blowy in your car around the corner from the Dunkin' Donuts.
Yeah.
By a prostitute.
The worst shit that you can get caught doing is eating pudding with your fingers.
Even that,
and even that, you're gonna get fucking...
No, dude, I'm sorry, man. He fucking cooked. You can't do that. You can't do that.
You can't do that.
You can't do that shit. So he had that like wicked embarrassing thing last week too.
Yeah.
Where I sent you like the screenshots, right, in the video where Ron DeSantis, where he's like starts the video off with the like mouth all wide and shit.
No.
Right? Oh, anyway, this is like I was talking to somebody today and they're like, dude, this is worse than the Howard Dean yell.
Yeah. Well, so the thing is, you're right. You make a good point. You can't do that because shit like that will get pounced on. But like, I guess my point being like, you can't give anybody any legitimate ammunition because people will jump on silly shit you do. Like if they find out you wear like, you know, I can think of a laundry list of shit that I've done in my life that would get me disqualified immediately if anybody found out. And some of it's really simple, like. There was a period of time in my life, and this is true, I'll admit this to everybody listening. There was a period of time in my life when I was young, when I was like, probably like a teenager, where, like an early teenager, where I liked to wear my socks into the shower, rather than just like...
What the fuck?
Oh, dude, because I was starting to stink. I was starting to smell like a boy and have smelly feet, but I didn't want, like, I don't know. In my mind, this made sense. Like, if I got home and my socks were stinky, and I was going to take a shower... I would wear the socks in, and then I would take them off, and I would soap them up and wring them out and hang them up so that when I put them in my hamper, they didn't smell as bad.
This is almost as bad as you balls out pissing.
Cool. So I thought I was going to decide what I decided to air. Remember how I said, like, I will admit this?
We've talked about the balls out pissing on air before. My dad mentioned it to me.
Have we?
Yeah. He was like,
man.
Damn, dude, Cam's fucked up with that balls out pissing.
Well, it's true. And here's the thing. That's one of those situations where it's like, I still do it because I have to do it. I can't let
it would feel weird not to.
Well, I can't let you teasing me be the reason I do anything. You know, that's just like not a course that I'm going to chart through life. Like letting like my fucking friends like fucking bully me into changing my intricacies, my eccentricities.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've come to find that it's
you
massively...
You don't have to take the rod out, dude. You don't have to take the rod and fucking...
I don't know, man.
Boys.
I don't know, man. I feel like if you don't take the balls out, there's not enough of like there's not enough, like, the balls are cool because when you're standing there, they kind of prop up your guy. So it's pointing straight. You know what I mean? Like, it just prevents like pants dribble.
I try to keep my balls away from the zipper.
But are you actually concerned at 33 years old that you're going to zip your balls up?
No, you know why? Because I don't pull them out through the
zipper.
zipper.
But I've also never done that. That's the thing. Like, you have this concern. Me, not knowing for like...
there's other reasons, but I'm just like, you don't have to breach the zipper with the balls.
No, you don't have to. But I've talked to other people that do it. I'm not the only one in the world, but there's definitely...
literally dozens of you?
I'm like definitely in the minority. I'm not going to like die on the hill that it's like the right thing to do. I don't do it for any practical reason, really. It's just what feels right to me.
Yeah, I just pulled a wang out.
Yeah. Hey, I mean, that's cool. You know what I mean? It is what it is. So those are two things now, I guess, that I will admit to. I guess I've already admitted to the balls out pissing thing. But I used to... So anyway, if anybody found that out, I'd be like...
Sound out. I want to hear from our male listeners. Balls in or out when you piss.
Yeah, if you're a person with testicles, let's not say male listeners. If you're a person with testicles, we would like to hear from you about whether or not they stay in or out of your pants when you go to the bathroom. I mean, or are you a sit-down peer? Some people prefer that, like, whenever possible. Some people like to sit down to pee. I think that being able to stand up and pee is one of the few actual measurable places where it's like, where it is actually better to be a guy.
Dudes rock.
A lot of the other stuff is manufactured, right? The patriarchy and the idea that men are smarter and all these other things. That's all silly. That's bullshit, right? But one thing that we actually have,
that's just running laps
just
around.
a structural superiority
We're running
issue.
laps around you bitches, dude, when it comes to pissing.
Dude, I can pee over stuff. Yeah. You know what I mean? I don't even have to be in the vicinity of where I want to piss. I can, if I gotta go bad enough, I got a couple of feet's worth of fucking thrust in me.
Yeah, dude.
So, I think off the top of my head, that's one of the few things that I can think of where it's like a measurable.
Oh yeah, it's
like a structural improvement.
Superior.
There's a lot of things that are way better about being a lady. Like the clitoris is cool. I am jealous of that thing. You guys have like a little fun button attached to the front of you. That's just the bee's knees. But being able to stand up and pee is fucking great.
Yeah, it's.
Did it make you feel nervous when I mentioned the clitoris? You sounded like a little freaked out.
No, the fact that you called it a hot button or
a fun button.
Fun button.
If I had one, you'd never see me. That's my point. We wouldn't do this show. Dude, it's hard enough to get me on doing this as it is. We would never do this show. You'd never fucking see me again. I'd have one just like gnarled arthritic hand, and I would just be an absolute disaster.
You have rheumatoid arthritis by 23.
I wouldn't have carpal tunnel. I'd have like my whole arm would just be a carpal.
Yeah.
I'd have one big calcified carpal claw that I just feverishly. Anyhow,
you can't even like stretch your arm out anymore. It's like it's so atrophied from even just being able to hold your arm out, so it's just tucked to your side.
Or maybe what would happen
is wing.
Do you remember that that movie Rookie of the Year?
No, what's
it's about like a kid who I think is in high school, and like he gets this weird injury on his arm, and it's in like a cast, but when it heals, it's like stuck in this strange way where he's able to pitch like 106 miles an hour because his like arm like creaks in a funny way, and it's all because of this injury. Maybe I would have that, dude. Maybe I would have
it's fucking killing me.
Rookie of the Year syndrome, dude. No, that's how they do it. And in the movie, it like creaks, it's like. And fucking, I would love if that was actually the side effect. But that's like a fantasy within a fantasy. Because first you have to presuppose, A, that I have a clitoris, and B, that I've like abused it to the point where my right arm has atrophied and become like this superior pitching claw. And then C, that I then figure out that I can leverage that into a professional baseball career.
And stop masturbating long enough to do it.
Well, and that's the other thing. So
we've already established that you only have that arm because you can't stop masturbating.
Right, and so if I have to keep up with like a professional pitching schedule, that's really going to cut into my bean flicking time. So like, there's a 0% chance that I'm able to maintain.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Either I would need like pretty extensive rest periods or what, but there's no way that I'd make it above like the minors. I don't think that I could hack it.
Yeah, you'd probably.
I'm also already 32, so
summer
like,
ball, dude.
I'm already 32.
No.
That sounds like some Savannah Bananas shit, though. They would sign me. They'd sign the fucking clit claw free.
They were like, we got this fucking chronic masturbator throwing fucking bullets, dude. Just paint jobs at 110 miles per hour.
This dude who wished to a genie
They
for
do
a
not
clitoris
sit in the dugout. In between innings, they disappear down into the locker room.
Yeah.
But when they come back out, that arm's fucking hot and ready to throw some fucking bullets.
Yeah, dude. Like a laser.
Yeah.
So anyway, he was mayor of Cincinnati, and then he decided that he wanted to run for governor. It didn't really work. Yeah. He ends up getting hired as like a local political correspondent, and that's how he gets his start in broadcast journalism, quote unquote. Yeah. And it actually was as a legitimate reporter. He was a reporter for the local NBC affiliate, and which was much more prestigious even in the 80s than it is now. I mean, there's a lot you could say about NBC now, about all these big networks, but, they were still trying to report unbiased news back then. So I guess that's like a nice little notch in his belt. But then in 1991, he starts the Jerry Springer Show, and that's what you all know. Jerry. He had Steve Wilkos, who was that bald guy who was like his kind of bouncer. He got his own show. He said that it started as a genuine attempt to like foster discussion, but really, I mean, that show was a fucking circus. And he has since disavowed the show. He said that he thought that it like ruined daytime talk TV culture, which is like, I guess it depends who you're asking. Because like,
no,
I love that
shit.
Create
something that wasn't there. He just keyed into the fucking zeitgeist.
He did. He was jacked straight the fuck in. And
people are trashy, man. Everybody's trashy.
Yeah.
Everybody likes some trashy ass fucking drama.
People are trashy.
There ain't a soul on earth that doesn't like some trashy ass drama.
Yeah. No, I love it, and I think that it was a really cool innovation, and I think that, ultimately it was in a lot of ways like a precursor to this reality TV thing where people were like, how can we tap even more into that level of like human trash? What if instead of trying to bring the trash into the studio, we brought the studio to the trash?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Let's film this pile of fucking dog shit.
Yeah, like if you took the people that were on Jerry Springer and followed them home, and we're just like, what if we just filmed them all day?
Yep.
And that shit rules.
Yep.
So thank God for that. Without that, we wouldn't have Jersey Shore, which
wouldn't have MILF Manor, dude.
What's MILF Manor?
Oh, MILF! I haven't watched it yet. One of my buddies does, though. It is, I shit you not, this is how deranged it is.
Okay.
It is a bunch of MILFs in a house with a bunch of young bucks. Here's the twist. The young bucks are all the sons of the MILFs. And so, like...
Whoa! Where can you watch MILF Manor? I'm about to...
This moms and sons dating right next to each other and like trying to bang and shit like that.
Oh my god!
It is as trashy
that
as
is,
you can possibly.
That is dude, some fucking goblin thought of that show, and they were that got someone a promotion, but also like everyone in the office.
Dude, that is some gross ass.
Like, look, get this
shit.
Get
this.
That
is some goblin.
It's gonna be
shit.
MILFs, right? And they're gonna do the thing where there's booze in the house, everybody's fucked up, they're all trying to fuck. There's hot young guys. They want to fuck the MILFs. Here's the twist: every hot young guy is a son of one of the MILFs.
One of the other ones.
And then like everybody in the room is like, Jesus fucking Christ, Derek.
God damn it, Derek. Are you fucking serious?
Are you crazy? But like, then here it is. So where do I watch this? Where do I watch MILF Manor?
I'm not sure. I have no idea. Yeah,
is it MILF Manor?
Yeah, MILF Manor, dude.
Dude, that's so hysterical. That can't be a real show. It's a real show. Discovery. Oh, it's on Hulu. But you need a premium subscription to Discovery Plus. Sounds like I'm not watching MILF Manor.
How rancid is that? That's so fucking funny.
It's hysterical.
Dude, that, like, whoever came up with that idea, when they came up with it, they just, in their room, like, swung, like, a fake bat like they hit a home run.
Dude, all these
and,
fucking...
like, flipped it,
These MILFs are hot, but their sons all look like total fucking fuckboys. Look at this guy.
Yeah.
But like his mom though, for sure.
His mom could get it, dude.
I wonder if they need like a fucking husky boy in there, like a balding.
Why, you gotta apply
a balding fat boy for the next season?
Because here's the thing: then your mom would be in it too.
Oh yeah, no, actually, that's not.
That's like you forgot about the twist.
I know that's the thing, the twist. You can't sign yourself up for MILF Manor.
Yourself, damn, I could bang some hot MILFs. Wait, no, but then my mom's.
Oh no! It's too late. I've already signed my bloody thumbprint on the fucking sheet, and now, my lovely mother is forced to participate in MILF Manor.
Yeah, it's fucked, bro.
Yeah,
it's fucked.
I think I'll just have to bow out then. I guess I won't try out.
I love the mind of whoever came up with that. Though.
That's fucking tapped. That's psychotic. So anyway, that's the leading story for today. Jerry Springer dead, 79, pancreatic cancer. Rest in power, King. Thank you for all the fucking laughs and the horrendous fucking daytime dog shit. Yep. But also like some kind of cool little connections to like political stuff and was there for the RFK assassination.
Yeah.
So that's the little...
Speaking of RFK...
Yeah.
RFK Jr. running for president.
I know, dude. I know.
And, like, early on, he's actually polling really well. He's got, like, 20% in early polls.
People love that name, Evan.
People haven't heard him speak yet. I don't know if you've ever heard him speak. His voice is fucking crazy. Yeah. I want you to... throw a clip in here right now so our listeners can hear.
Well, let's us listen to a clip so we can react to it, and then I'll put that clip up with our reactions dubbed over the clip. That seems to work really well.
That's what I'm saying,
and to the listeners, you fucking morons, you clowns, you're gonna think that it's just the actual clip. It's studio magic, you fucking clowns.
Yeah, his voice is crazy. Like, it's kind of like Ron DeSantis, where people think Ron DeSantis had a chance, but I knew he didn't because I had heard that motherfucker speak before.
Yo, he's thick as a brick, dude.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, he's fucking dog-brained, bro. Like, he is so fucking stupid.
So this is RFK's Democratic announcement bid.
All right.
I had fucking chili and chips right before this. Shit was great. When you make chili, do you eat it with tortilla chips or do you eat it with a spoon?
Sometimes if I have them, yeah. I never remember to buy them ahead of time, but if they're there, then yes.
Same thing. And so today I went and I got some really
put some cheddar cheese right in the middle.
Oh yeah,
like some shredded cheddar, and then you put the chips around on the edge so they can get nice and soggy. Now,
wait, what? Soggy?
Yeah, you put the chips in there. You put some in there and then some around. But I'll put like a
so they
like
get
little,
soggy.
Yeah, and you get a nice little soggy chip.
You want them soggy?
Some of them, not all of them. That's why I said you put a little ring around the bowl and you let it get like nice, hot, and like soggy, and you eat it.
Yeah, you keep saying the same thing every time I ask. Like, I'm kind of looking for a little clarification, and you just keep saying, yeah, some of them hot and soggy.
Yeah, and then the rest of them are around the plate, and you just dip into it. But I kind of like those first few ones that really soak up the chili. You know.
I just leave them in a bowl or a bag off to the side, and I just grab a chip.
I leave most of them there, but I put a few in to begin. You know,
you like a few soggy chips? Hey, fuck it. But again, here's the thing. That's another great example. You can't run for president. That's some shit that would get absolutely.
Oh, I can't. I think there's a lot of things prior to the soggy.
No,
chips
of course, that was just a good example. Speaking of, before we dive into RFK, before I forget, so. I'm going to talk about this later in the episode. I'm a restaurant industry worker. I think everybody's figured that out by now. I'm a bartender. And I had a couple of guests ask me a question not too long ago. They pulled me over. They're like, we need your input on this. We need you to tell us if our buddy, it was two couples. It was two guys and two ladies. And they were like, we need you to tell us if, I forget his name. Let's call him Bob. We need you guys to tell us if Bob is a weirdo. And I was like, okay, shoot. Like, what's the deal?
Bobs usually are.
Yeah, I mean, he was like our age, so he probably wasn't a Bob, but whatever.
Derek. I know a Bob.
We need you to tell us if Derek is a weirdo. And I was like, okay, what's your deal? And so they had this whole preface. They're like, so do you like Oreos? And I was like, well, yeah. Like, of course.
Stupid clown question, bro.
Yeah, like, answering no to that would be weird, right? So, yes, of course I like Oreos. And they're like, you ever dip them? And I was like, well, I don't really like...
No, I'm not really dip.
Well, here's the thing. I don't really keep milk in the house. I very rarely have it. But if I had some milk or some oat milk or something, some almond milk in my fridge, for sure I would pour a little glass and dip my Oreos.
Never done that.
But that's, I don't have Oreos that often. When I do, generally, I'm a dry guy. I'm not going in with the dunked Oreo.
I don't think I've ever in my life had a dip period for cookies. Even as a little kid.
That's actually... hard to believe that you made it this far without trying it because it's such a thing. But
I've tried it. I don't like it. Didn't like it then. Don't like it.
So
now.
You have had it in your life.
I've never had a dip period. I've never had a period where I like to do that.
Oh! I get it. I thought you were saying I've never had a dip. Period. Like I've
never
ever.
I've never had.
That's
a dip
how
period.
I read that. Okay, you've never had a period of your life where you were into the dip.
Yeah.
Got it. So they asked, like, so do you dip your Oreos? And I was like, yeah, sometimes. If I had milk, which I never do, I would dip.
Was he dip them in water or something weird? Dip them in like Diet Coke?
Well, you just fucking you did sort of just swoop in and steal the whole thing. But yes,
wait, is that serious? That's what he does?
Yeah. So they were like, you dip them in milk, right? And I looked right at the guy and I was like, don't tell me you fucking dip Oreos in water, dude. And he goes, yeah, it's not that weird. It's not that weird. And I was like, Derek. I'm sorry, pal, but
Derek, you're a fucking clown. Get the
I
fuck
think
out
I
of this
said
restaurant.
this. I was like, dude, that is super fucking weird.
So fucking weird.
And then I actually told him, I was like, don't worry, like I'm not like rain on your parade. Keep doing.
Okay, that's like what you do with hot dogs at a Nathan's hot dog eating contest.
Sure.
Dip them in water to get them down the gullet quick.
But I was like, dude, keep doing it. Don't stop. Don't let them make you stop.
Just know that you are a freak.
But it is weird. Like I'm not telling you to stop. And then I told him the socks in the shower thing.
Just know
that I told him the socks in the shower thing, and I was like, I'll be honest with you. I tried the socks in the shower thing again as an adult. It doesn't hit the same way. I don't like it anymore. I don't know what changed, but like. There was a period of my life when I was younger where I did it, and I tried it again when I was older for a little while. I was like, I don't fucking care for this. My perversion had faded.
Yeah.
But I said, you hold on to this because this is a special thing about you. So anyway, let's watch this clip about RFK.
I've come here today
to
announce my candidacy for the Democratic nomination for President of the United States.
Yeah, he's got a weird voice.
And he's not as handsome as a Kennedy ought to be.
He was more handsome when he was younger. He's kind of old, so.
My mission over the next 18 months of this campaign
Weird.
and throughout my presidency will be to end the corrupt merger of state and corporate power that is threatening now.
Yeah, that's not gonna fly.
Once people hear him,
If he had like a beautiful clarion aristocratic Cape Cod accent, that would
because they ain't like rip. Joe Biden speaking well, so But no, Kennedy, he sounds weird.
He sounds like he's got something in his throat like all the time. Yeah, he's like it's halted.
Also,
maybe
you know what's
he's had
really
like throat
funny
cancer.
Too? He's married to fucking Cheryl Hines.
Really?
Yeah. Which, for the listeners at home, that's Larry David's wife in Curb Your
Ex-wife, right? Aren't they divorced in Curb?
That?
Aren't they divorced in Curb?
Yeah, but he's Larry David's wife in Curb,
right?
Yes. And
I didn't know that he was.
Episodes they're divorced. But.
They've been married for almost 10 years.
Yeah, I didn't know that until he announced for president. But yeah, he's got a weird voice. I'm sorry, man. Once people hear him, it's over. It's done.
Yeah, I think that's going to be tough.
Yeah, he's also a big proponent of vaccines cons autism.
That's right. He's got some vaccine. That's I think where I first heard of him. He's got some vaccine, some thoughts on vaccines.
Yeah, he's got thoughts on which whatever. That's fine.
Well, the thing is, I'm not an expert in any of that stuff. Yeah. I have elected in my life to believe the prevailing science on that stuff.
Yeah.
I have people in my family that are in the medical world. They've always gone with that. I trust them. I trust the research. So I
will say, if there's one thing that I think vaccines might cause, and I got this from one of my old directors at my old job, it's peanut allergies.
Maybe.
Like the prevalence of like super bad peanut allergies is because I forget what vaccine it was, or one of them or some of them. There's like an enzyme for like as a preservative in the actual shot itself that you get in peanuts, and that would be like sort of the same way as like an alpha-gal allergy, which is have you ever heard of that?
No.
Well, there's a tick that's mainly down south that when it feeds on so non-primate mammals have an enzyme in their blood called alpha-gal, and so when it feeds on like say a cattle or a deer or whatever, and then it bites a human, sometimes that protein will go into the person. And then you get sick from the tick bite, and your body will start to associate that protein.
Oh, and you get a red meat allergy.
Sick from the tick bite, and that's why people will get allergies to red meat after getting bitten by that tick.
I had that.
Yeah, so I have my old director at my last job. He has a daughter who is like deathly allergic to peanuts. Like he can't even eat peanut butter at work and then go home and just it on his breath. Well, he'll have to like bring it to the hospital, something like that.
That's insane.
So he thinks that there's maybe a similar mechanism for the huge explosion of peanut allergies might come from some vaccination shots because they have that enzyme. And for some people, if they have a bad reaction to the shot, their body might create sort of that connection where that peanut allergy, it means I'm getting sick again,
right.
And then they go into the anaphylactic shot.
Interesting.
So I think
I definitely don't want to go any further into like that rabbit hole because there are definitely, I mean, like any medication, there are potential pitfalls and stuff to it. But I don't want to be flagged as like some like
I know what you mean,
vaccine conspiracy podcast because we're not. Just to clarify, but there are obviously
against COVID and shit like
you
that.
Should still all go out and get your fucking shots. Don't be a bunch of dumbasses.
Yeah. At the very least, the normal ones like polio and shit like that.
Sure, yeah, things that you are going to be exposed to, you should be vaccinated against.
You're
I just think that Alpha Gal sounds like it would be like a supplement company for muscle mommies. Like Lean Beef Patty could fucking...
Yeah, Alpha Gal, yeah. Alpha
she would
Gal
be the
creatine.
coolest guest we could ever get on this show. I think if we got Lean Beef Patty on this show, I'd fucking kill myself immediately afterwards. It's like that high could never be replicated.
Yeah, muscle mommy, hell yeah.
Dude, she's like no one else. She introduced me to a whole new world of like what I am into.
Oh yeah, I was already there, brother.
Not me. I mean, I didn't know that I was. I just didn't have exposure to that. But the next thing I know, I'm like, oh, she could fucking crush my head into pieces. Yeah. And I'm just like, that sounds great.
Yeah, I like lady bodybuilders, definitely.
Yeah, it's cool. It's
always
cool.
Have.
You want them to just like hold you and like fucking just, I don't know.
Yep.
I have this fantasy like we're getting out of a stagecoach and there's a big puddle and Lean Beef Patty throws her fucking duster down over the puddle and walks me over it with my parasol.
No, it should just be that she holds you up with one hand and just carries you as you like stand up straight.
Yeah, that would. Oh, yeah, stand up straight. That would be cool. She balances me. That would be straight. That would be sweet. Yeah. And she's like, straight as a board, straight as a board. And I'm like, yes, mommy.
Don't lean.
Anyway, so yeah, RFK, weird.
Yeah. So now the thing with RFK, I think RFK is going to be like a landmine for leftists that are still, want to vote but don't want to vote for Joe Biden. But I mean, and so here's the thing: RFK has straight up come out and said, and this is the story that I also believe that I think is true, that the actual assassin of RFK was his bodyguard Thane Eugene Caesar.
Yeah.
Who is a anti-Castro Cuban who worked for the CIA and had just been hired that weekend as bodyguard.
That's who he thinks, right? That's what you said.
Yeah, he thinks so as well, and he straight up has said that, and he's open about that. And I agree with him. So and the thing is, there's a lot that I think he is right about, but then also he has the weird stuff too. The vaccines cause autism and all that.
Yeah.
And but what I will say is the CIA right now has a chance to do the funniest thing in history.
Go for the hat trick.
Triple tap.
Yeah,
I'm not saying they should. They definitely shouldn't. But they have a chance to do the funniest thing in history.
Yeah. Yeah, man. It's yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, no.
It's like when Chris Rock was talking. Where was he? They were like, "Oh, somebody has an opportunity to do the funniest shit ever right now." Yeah. And go up and punch him again. He got punched on stage 2 years in a row.
Slapped it. Yeah.
That would be fucking awesome.
Yeah. But yeah, no. So anyway, RFK, he doesn't stand a chance. He's got a weird voice. That's done.
Yeah.
Because so for our younger listeners who maybe have not got the Howard Dean reference,
we'll put the Howard. I'll put the Howard Dean sound in right here because I think it's important that. Well,
that is
I'll give you a
critical
second.
Piece of information. Yeah.
Here it is. Here it is. The Howard Dean sound right now.
You know something? If you had told us 1 year ago that we were going to come in third in Iowa, we would have given anything for that. And you know something? Not only are we going to New Hampshire, Tom Harkin, we're going to South Carolina and Oklahoma and Arizona and North Dakota and New Mexico. And we're going to California and Texas and New York. And we're going to South Dakota and Oregon and Washington and Michigan. And then we're going to Washington, D.C. to take back the White House. Yeah!
Right? And he just... He just sounded like that for one fucking second,
and it tanked his campaign. Done. He was on a roll,
and they've
primaries.
Proven that a lot of it was due to the recording equipment, the acoustics, whatever. It wasn't even what people at that place heard. His voice didn't sound like that if you were there listening to him. Doesn't matter. That's what got televised, and they fucking
it tanked his campaign.
Destroyed him. Who's ever heard of Howard Dean?
Yeah,
dude's gone. He's done.
And anyway, so I think Ron DeSantis may have just had a Howard Dean moment.
Old pudding fingers, you mean? When you say Ron DeSantis, are you talking about pudding fingers?
Yeah, pudding fingers. Oh, because
I've heard of
DeSantis.
him. That I'm sorry to say it. We were having this conversation the other day, but it sucks. It sucks how fucking funny Donald Trump is because he's such a piece of shit.
Dude, it's funny.
The idea of him winning.
Well, keep going. Yeah, sorry.
I was just gonna say the idea of him winning the presidency again. Yeah. It gives me like a pain in my stomach. You know what I mean? He is so fucking unpalatable to me as a human being, you know? Yeah. But god damn, is he good at being mean. Like, he is just so fucking mean. And the putting fingers ad is like...
I've had even, like, regular, like, liberals and stuff, like, admitting to me now, too. They're like, yeah, it sucks that he's so fucking funny.
Dude, he is. He is dunking. Well, that's the thing. Right now...
Oh, he is fucking
he's dunking on Ron DeSantis, so, like, it's funny. But the thing is, like, him and Biden going at... It's just not... I don't know, man. I don't fucking know. I'm so disillusioned with the whole goddamn thing. Anyway, but fuck Donald Trump. But the pudding ad is so fucking funny. Dude,
the pudding ad is amazing.
Are you about to play it?
No, I'm looking for this DeSantis video. I'll try to... I think this is his Howard Dean moment. And specifically, you have to... Falling behind Trump. Any thoughts on that?
I'm not a candidate, so we'll see if and when that changes.
Dude, it's so goddamn good. Like, I think, like, it's, like, all... I think it's fucking tanked his campaign. He looks so fucking stupid.
Well, he looks fucking
suited. He's a dog brain. Like, he's got this, like, look like a fucking like a golden retriever that has no idea what the fuck's going on.
I don't even have the audio on. I'm just looking at his face. Oh my god! Yeah. Yeah.
He's like mouth wide open, like a fucking. He looks like. Yeah, that's the face you make when when the pudding is about to get ate with 3 fingers.
Dude, fuck yeah. He sucks so bad. So, like, it's cool that he's getting fucking owned right now by, like, a bigger fucking dumb bully. Like, but then it's gonna suck to see that guy turn around and like if he wins, I'm just gonna be so sad.
It's not. Well, what's really funny too is
no, not Ron DeSantis. Oh, Donald Trump.
Yeah,
DeSantis really is fucking toast. He's fucking toast.
Yeah, he's done. What's really funny is that apparently, he and his campaign were completely blindsided by Trump coming out of the gate swinging at him.
Yeah.
It's like, dude, this is the exact same thing Trump did in 2016. Why would he not do it again?
Right. Like, he's like, but I supported him. He's like, he doesn't care. Trump never liked you.
Trump
you didn't
cares
matter.
about if you're loyal right now. Yeah. And you're not loyal right now.
And here's the thing. If Ron DeSantis, when Ron DeSantis is out of the race and he inevitably turns around and endorses Trump, Trump's going to be like, oh, he's a great guy, lovely guy. I've always loved Ron.
He won't even say it because he doesn't do that. No, fucking Ron DeSantis will just grovel at him like fucking Ted Cruz did. Mm-hmm. Fucking Donald Trump called Ted Cruz's wife ugly to his face, and that dude still fucking campaigned for him, dude.
Dude, that's what I'm talking about, though. Like, DJ Trump can straight up turn around and just be like, yo, your wife's ugly, and like somehow still get you. Like, he sucks. He's so mean.
He treats people like the fucking worms they are, and they grovel to him.
They
like
love
the
it.
Worms
they fucking lap it up.
Yeah.
Ugh. And when he's doing it to his own dumbass constituency and like his little like clone politicians, I love that shit. I love the infighting. I love watching them. I love watching like Republicans realize that Donald Trump's the fucking worst.
Yeah.
Like, that shit's great, but.
Well, they are too. That's the thing.
That's what I'm saying. It's rewarding on many levels. I wanted to quickly mention a news story that came out earlier this week, and then just talk about it for a couple seconds with you, just because this is more of like a local thing. I don't know how important this is to anybody, outside of this particular restaurant scene, but I do think that it's kind of interesting. So, the New York Times put out an article last week to the day, I think it was exactly 7 or 8 days ago, detailing apparently pretty credible allegations of misconduct against Barbara Lynch, who's, if not certainly one of the biggest restaurateurs and chefs in Boston. Now, Boston's a small city. It's not New York or nothing, but she's been notable in the city for a long time. Menton is her big restaurant, but she's got all sorts of places. B&G Oyster, whatever. There's all sorts of places around. And I've crossed paths with her personally. Like I mentioned earlier, I'm in that restaurant scene. Like, I know a lot of these people. I've heard a lot of these stories, whatever. But it's just been kind of interesting. It just sort of made me think about the state of not just the restaurant industry, sort of in this like post-COVID or late stage COVID, whatever you want to call it, world, right? And so basically, long story short, the story was the original head chef of all of her properties, he had been promoted to be the executive chef of all of her restaurants, died of a fentanyl overdose. That in and of itself, I think, is a big problem. Rampant in the restaurant industry. I mean, you know this. Everybody that's worked in a kitchen knows that there's drugs, right?
Yep.
But this is somebody who was really successful at a really high level and apparently had been clean for a really long time and relapsed and died, right? Yep. And was replaced, and things were not going well. I mean, the restaurant industry post-COVID has been... There's been some fucking crazy times for those of us that work in that industry. And I think that's probably true for people that work in retail, people that work in all sorts of customer service related fields. Mm-hmm. And so it's come to light that Barbara Lynch, who is, you know, a very successful woman in a traditionally male dominated industry, first as a chef and then a restaurant owner, I mean, I don't know another way to put it, but basically is just like a drunk mess who sexually assaults and harasses her employees and just other people. Was recorded at a meeting about low staff morale, basically like berating her staff, screaming at them, fired a chef on the spot for questioning her approach, whatever. And it turned into this whole big thing. A bunch of people went to the New York Times. And so now there's this spotlight on her. And I just think that I basically, more than anything, really, I just wanted to take like a couple seconds to kind of highlight like people that work in the service industry have a really hard job. Kitchens are a really hard place to work. You've worked in a kitchen. I don't know if you want to sound off on this.
Nope, sucked ass, bro.
Yeah, it's a hard ass job, and there's so much pressure. And any part of that, the experience of making sure, like when you go to sit at a restaurant, making sure that you get your food and you like leave happy. It's a hard job. It's not something I like to like, you know, gripe about all the time, because it's not like it requires the most brain power in the world, whatever, to do what I do. But there has been such an uptick in, it seems like, this kind of thing. And I think it's down to like a couple factors. I think it's good that there's more spotlight being shined on toxic behavior in restaurants, because restaurants have been toxic as shit forever. But also,
literally every kitchen's toxic as fuck.
Yeah, they're all bad. I mean, I work in one of, you know, I'm not going to out myself. I love my employers. I like where I work, and like, I work in probably the kindest kitchen I've ever encountered. And even that, there are still days where you're just like, holy shit, like how do people comfortably operate under this kind of stress and environment? And if anything, without going into some long meandering thing, I guess I just want to say, like, be kind to the people that you encounter that are not just in restaurants, but that are working at the store, that are working at the grocery store, that are preparing your meals. The last couple of years have been dog shit, and the amount of abuse.
Should get tipped out too.
What do you say?
I say kitchen staff should get tipped out too.
By servers?
Well, just in general. I don't know, but fucking.
Well, they should get paid more.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the pay structure...
I mean, I've definitely always been a proponent of getting some of the tips being shared with the kitchen staff, because as a guy who worked in the kitchen, let me tell you the amount of times that I would have, like, getting paid $12 an hour while the waitresses and stuff were walking out with, like, hundreds of dollars, and constantly they'd be coming up to you, asking you to do extra stuff when you're already fucking done and closing up, and like, well, this customer really wants it. And it's like, well, what the fuck am I getting out of this? You know, shit like that.
Yeah.
But, hey.
Yeah, I mean, look, man, I'll be the first to say that the tipping structure is completely ass backwards. And the only people that it really benefits are restaurant owners. And more than that, like the people that are charging the egregious rents that restaurant owners pay to keep their restaurants in operation. The whole thing is fucked up, and there should absolutely be reform on that from the top down. I think servers and everyone that works in restaurants should be paid a living wage, and the gratuity thing needs to be, like, massively re-examined. Yeah. So that's, like, a whole other conversation. But I'm more to the point of just like you don't really know like the level of intensity that's going on behind the scenes in a lot of these different types of businesses, and like there's just be nice to fucking people when you go out to eat. Tip your server. They work really hard, and yeah, their kitchen should be taken care of better too, because they work extremely hard. It's a very hard job. I wouldn't do it. You know what I mean? So
yep. There's a reason there's a lot of substance abuse in kitchen staff.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a very, and it's tough, right? Like, I definitely hear that side of it too. Like with, like, because you know, I probably make more money than everybody that works in the kitchen at my restaurant, and I don't know, I'd do an easier job. But that being said, for me, it's like kind of like, okay, well, I'm going to do the easier job that pays more. Just is what it is, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. But the whole structure is fucked. And on top of that, it's just sad to see somebody like Barbara Lynch, who like is a woman, right, who like clawed herself to the top of, like I said, a really male-dominated industry, and has outwardly prided herself on succeeding in the face of sexism, all the sort of gross misconduct that male chefs, male restaurant owners have long, been accused of, like toxic behavior, physical violence, sexual violence, misogyny, and sort of just turned around and like defeated that by imitating it. And I just felt really sad to hear that. You hear those stories anytime you're in any kind of local restaurant scene. You know that about the people that are working, at high levels. You hear these things, so just kind of a bummer. I don't have much more to say than that, unless you want to add anything to the conversation about restaurants. But it just was like kind of a jarring story that I heard, and that's much more of like a Massachusetts-centric thing. But there are plenty of stories like that about other restaurants and restaurant owners and whatever.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right, well, I guess I do want to talk about one more thing today. Mm-hmm. It's about how the Air National Guard, they're not sending their best, folks. So I mean, I wanted to do more about this a couple weeks ago, but I think at this point everybody knows the story now about the Portuguese greatness from Dighton, Mass. The intelligence agent from the Massachusetts Air National Guard, Jack Teixeira.
Yeah, Teixeira.
Teixeira.
Whoa.
Fucking who he was got caught leaking documents to his fucking racist Discord chat, which was about some YouTube account named Oxide that was just like a gun YouTube account.
Yeah.
It was like a racist Discord chat. This is how it was described. Apparently they were really into anti-Semitic and racist slurs and jokes. And this kid fucking stole documents that were apparently from they were briefings to the Joint Chiefs of Staff about the war in Ukraine, which I'm guessing were maybe a little bit less rosy than what's been said in the news, which is why it was a big idea. Who he fucking stole it, and he was like 21 years old, and just putting it in his chat to impress like 13 and 14-year-olds.
Yeah.
And naturally, of course, these documents find their way to other parts of the internet, and then find their way to Telegram and Russian intelligence agents. So this kid fucking... I mean, first of all, he's 21 years old. Obviously, he fucking did... I'll be the first to say, I think it's cool and good to betray the U.S. government. But still, if you're, somebody who is does not think the way that I do, then, the kid obviously needs to face some penalty for that. He did break the law. He did break, he was given, classified documents, and he just, fucking shared them to the internet. I mean, but do I think the kid deserves to be tried for treason and put to death? No. I mean, he's a dumbass fucking kid.
Yeah.
There shouldn't even be an intelligence wing of the Air
Would you though, if he wasn't Portuguese?
What?
Would you still support him if he wasn't a Portuguese American? Or does that give him an extra little...
No, he's a 21-year-old kid. Yeah, like, he was just fucking being a dumbass. He wasn't trying to fucking give classified intelligence documents to somebody that we're at war with. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, he's fucking stupid. And he should probably face some penalty for that.
Yeah, but, 5 years.
Why did he have the documents to begin with? What the fuck?
Yeah,
dude?
well, that's the thing. Somebody needs to be losing their job over that.
I'm guessing there's probably some captain or sergeant or colonel that's like, damn, I have been forwarding a lot of emails that I've been given about briefings, and I haven't been paying too much attention to who I'm forwarding them to. But yeah, so I think most people at this point know the story. Very Dighton kid. That is very funny. I absolutely believed it once I found out that he was from Dighton. But anyway, so there was that story. But if you think that is the last Air National Guardsman who is 21 to bring great shame to the Air National Guard, you would be wrong. So this is from I love this story. This is from a Monday, April 17th story on CNN. Tennessee Air National Guardsman applied to be a hitman online, the FBI says. It was a spoof website, and now he's facing charges.
Oh my god.
All right, so here's from CNN. A Tennessee Air National Guardsman is facing charges after applying to be a hitman on a spoof Rent-A-Hitman website, according to the DOJ. Josiah Ernesto Garcia, 21, was charged Thursday after submitting an employment inquiry to the website rentahitman.com, which is a parody site that includes testimonials from purported satisfied hitman customers. Like, dude, like, how are you this fucking stupid? How are you this stupid?
This guy's seen John Wick like too many times.
He was trying to go to the John Wick hotel. The website was originally created in 2005 to, quote, advertise a cybersecurity startup company, the DOJ said in a news release. The company failed, and over the next decade, it received many inquiries about murder-for-hire services. Garcia indicated in February that he had, quote, military experience and rifle expertise and requested an, quote, in-depth job description, according to a criminal complaint filed Thursday. Garcia followed up on this initial request and submitted other identification documents and a resume indicating he was an expert marksman and employed in the Air National Guard since July 2021. The resume also indicated that Garcia was nicknamed Reaper, which was earned from his military experience in marksmanship, the DOJ said in the news release. Garcia sent another follow-up email days later saying he didn't hear back after submitting a resume, according to the complaint. This is a fucking joke job. So, like, somebody just has this page as, like, a joke and gets this and is like, I guess I have to contact the FBI.
Never thought I'd have to do this. But...
Yeah. So, according to investigators, Garcia wrote in the email, why I want this job. I'm looking for a job that pays well related to my military experience, shooting and killing the marked target, so I can support my kid on the way. What can I say? I enjoy doing what I do, so if I can find a job that is similar to it, such as this one, put me in, coach.
Oh my fucking god.
After
dude.
Garcia sent more follow-up emails, the website owner, at the direction of the FBI, responded with an email saying, Josiah, a field coordinator will be in touch in the near future. You will receive a message when they are ready. Timing is based on client needs, according to the complaint. On April 5th, an FBI undercover agent contacted Garcia for a phone interview, during which he asked, how soon can I start? They got
his ass, dude.
Yeah, how soon can I start? And what do the payments look like, according to the complaint? Like, he's just giving them it. He's giving it to them!
Yeah. I'd like to kill someone for money. How much could I get paid to commit a murder?
The undercover agent asked Garcia if he was comfortable with taking fingers or ears as trophies.
Oh my
god. Or
God.
Performing... torture.
At this point, they're just like racking up points on him too. They're just like, fuck it. Let's see what else we can get this kid to cop to.
Threes right now. And he responds, if it's possible and in my means to do so, I'm more than capable. Hell yeah, I'll torture some folks. Garcia said, according to the complaint. In an in-person meeting with the undercover agent on Wednesday, Garcia was presented with a target package consisting of photographs and a description of a fictional target's name, weight, age, height, address, and employment information. The complaint said, here's the fucking kicker. Garcia was told the target was the client's husband who was abusive to her and that the client was paying $5,000.
That's it?
For that he sold himself for $5,000, dude, for the job with a down payment of $2,500, the complaint said.
God.
After agreeing to the terms of the murder arrangement, Garcia asked the agent if he needed to provide a photograph of the dead body. According to the Justice Department release, Garcia was then arrested by FBI agents who, in a subsequent search of his home, recovered an AR-style rifle. Garcia is charged with the use of interstate commerce facilities in the commission of murder for hire. He faces up to 10 years in prison if convicted.
What a fucking goose egg.
Dude, that FBI agent is just fucking dunking on.
How often do you think he had to be like, hold on 1 second, dude, this fucking guy is so fucking. Mr. Garcia. What about cutting off their ears? Would you cut off their ears? Dude, he said he'd fucking do it.
He said he's more than capable.
Like, he's definitely just like putting the call on mute and like laughing his ass off.
They're like, this kid's just fucking giving it to us.
Yeah.
We have all, dude, he's answering these questions that are, very leading to be, beyond a shadow of a doubt, you were just like, fuck yes, I will kill some people, I will torture their ass if you ask me $5,000, Put me in, coach. Hell yeah.
I like the sound of that. Yeah, I really like the sound of that.
I am down to commit a murder in exchange for payment.
Yeah, it's fucking dummy.
Dude. Fucking just...
I think, deserves more a stricter punishment.
Yeah, than the kid who did who leaked that shit. Yeah,
I mean, something needs to happen to that kid too, though. Like,
yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. Like, he needs to face maybe like a couple years in jail or something like that.
Yeah,
and then just not be allowed near classified information ever again. I think that settles it. He wasn't trying to really commit a crime or do anything nefarious. His crime was caring what 13-year-olds thought about him.
Yeah.
But this guy's dangerous. He's trying to fucking kill people for money.
Yeah,
and he's stupid to boot.
Yeah, so, you can't have dummies out there like looking to be the next Barry, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
There's a couple other quick things that I wanted to talk about. I had a bunch of stuff here, but one thing I definitely wanted to mention because it's just happened today. Another death, less famous and more infamous, I would say. Yeah. Carolyn Bryant Donham, who is the woman who accused Emmett Till of whistling at her and got him, this like poor little boy, gruesomely murdered.
Did she accuse him? I never knew what
she did.
role in that was, other than being like
she's the woman who said that he whistled at her, and it was later found that like wasn't true. No. Very recently, I think they figured out who she was, where she lived. She's 88. She was 88. She died in hospice.
Rest in piss, bitch.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, so this is, I think, the last real feasible chance that anybody who was affiliated with that crime could be held accountable. She never saw the inside of a fucking jail cell. Never apologized. Never repented. There was absolutely no even attempt at reconciliation for just one of the most heinous and infamous racially motivated killings in this country's history. You guys, people probably are familiar, especially because that movie Till just came out, which was, I think, mostly about Emmett Till's mother, Mamie Till. But yeah, it was, of course, like a galvanizing moment for the civil rights movement. And, you know, I'm not going to tell you that you should look it up, but, you know, Mamie Till famously insisted on an open casket funeral for her little boy. And I think the images of that are really some of the most shocking things you can see. Because this fucking racist piece of shit decided that this little well-dressed black boy shouldn't be wherever she was, shouldn't be speaking to her, shouldn't be near her. She got him fucking murdered by a gang of fucking racist morons. And rest in piss. Fuck this bitch. She sucks. And anybody out there that feels otherwise, just, you can stop listening. You know what I mean? Like, we're all set on that. So a big final fuck you to Carolyn Bryant Donham. And then lastly, I just wanted to touch base with you on, have you, first, this is, I'm just going to read this headline because this is fucking funny. Spain has finally gone and done it. They have finally, as of earlier today,
admitted Portugal's better.
They've finally put the final nail in the coffin of fun, and banned dwarf bullfighting, which the nerve, you know what I mean? Like, I just, if I want to go see a little person fight a bull of their own free will, I should be able to do so. And I think any attempt to stifle that is fascist.
Yeah, you know, that's in all honesty, that's one thing that I will not defend the motherland in, because Portugal does that shit too. The bullfighting.
Yeah, that shit's gross.
Yeah, it's disgusting.
Yeah.
Portugal and Spain, they both do the bullfighting.
They do it in Mexico too.
Yeah.
Bullfighting's gross. For those of you that don't know, it's not like a romantic thing. Like, they stab that bull up and then kill it.
They gore the fuck. They just continuously fucking spear
and then it gets like stabbed in the heart, and it's a whole thing. The only bullfighting videos that I support are the ones where you see those fucking matadors get just fucking rocked by that bull.
Yeah, dude.
It's like disemboweled. That shit's fucking tight.
Dude. I saw one once where the dude gets the fucking horn like straight through his cheek.
Straight through his
Yeah, too, yeah.
I mean, I don't like that kind of gratuitous violence. So I don't actually like looking at those videos, but
I do like.
But it's nice when the fucking bull wins. Let me tell you, man.
They fucking. Like,
I mean, I eat meat, but I don't think that you should be able to fucking torture it and stab it up first. Like, that shit sucks. That shit just sucks so bad.
And they fucking or in like the rodeo, they wrap their fucking balls up in elastic bands and shit to make them like really aggressive.
That would make me aggressive.
Yeah,
that shit would suck so bad. I my balls. And then so that's just a little thing that I had said. But then also, I think the last point that I really want to actually spend any time talking about.
I believe the preferred nomenclature is little person from before.
Oh, okay. The article that I was just reading the title of the article. Where was that from? I think this is on Huffington Post. That's what the company. So I think that's in quotes. That's what the company who marketed it called it.
Jesus Christ,
dwarf bullfighting.
Disrespectful to everybody involved.
Yeah. But obviously, the community of disabled rights people in Spain is like very excited about this. So
yeah,
and I'm sure animal rights groups also, because I think it's jokes aside, it's a good move. No, there should be no bullfighting of any kind.
Yeah, you should not be subjecting little people to fighting bulls
anybody.
So that they can make a paycheck.
Nobody should be fighting bulls.
Or anybody. Yeah.
And then lastly, are you familiar at all with the Zoe Zephyr situation that's unfolding right now in Montana?
Is Zoe the transgender lawmaker?
Yes. So Zoe Zephyr is a woman who is a member of the Montana House of Representatives and is a trans woman. And infamously, I guess, a week or so ago, or a little longer, made a comment regarding legislation pending in Montana in an attempt to stifle the right of people under a certain age to have access to gender-affirming surgery, which doesn't need to be said, but left unread.
No.
We're big supporters, proponents. Do whatever the fuck you need to do to feel like you're the person you were born as. But, so Zoe Zephyr basically just said, like, okay, well, if you're going to pass this law, when we have our little moment of prayer and you're bowing your heads, I hope you all realize that there's blood on your hands when you look down. That's all they said, and that's hardly the most incendiary comment I've ever heard come out of a political session. But the backlash against this person has been so vehement. They have been literally forcibly removed from the session chamber every single time they've tried to speak since then, and have now officially been censured. They will no longer be allowed to speak or attend any session of Congress in the Montana State Legislature, and will have to vote remotely from home. And a lot of Republicans who dominate the Montana State Legislature, their whole response is, well, we could have banned her, so we could have had her totally removed, so better be happy that we didn't do that. And I don't know, man, this shit just puts a bad taste in my mouth. I think it sets a dangerous precedent that continues to rear its ugly head in political bodies across the country. You know,
I will say this. The Republicans had, historically speaking, a total layup in the midterms. That is, the midterms there are literally throughout all of history, the opposition party has done well in. They looked like they were going to do especially well in it. And then they decided to be the even bigger ghouls than everybody thought they were by deciding to call all LGBT people groomers, to go insanely anti-LGBT, anti-trans, anti-gay. And then, have the Dobbs decision where they reverse Roe v. Wade. And they got fucking smoked out. And then in the in the elections that just happened, they got smoked out even harder, including losing a majority for the Supreme Court in Wisconsin.
Yeah.
And so all I can say is, I mean, these are incredibly unpopular positions. I think the vast majority of people in this country, I mean, we litigated LGBT rights before.
Yeah.
We've all decided that the LGBT people are totally fucking normal, and it's cool that they have rights.
Yeah.
It's cool that transgender people have gender-affirming care, and it's cool that gay people are allowed to get married, just like everybody else. We already normal people, even normal people who are conservatives, believe that.
Yeah, that's right. That's not some controversial point.
We litigated this, and so the only I guess positive for this is that these insane turns are so unpopular that they've been getting smoked out. And you have fucking what's her name, Ann Coulter, who's been for years
one of the biggest
saying that
reptiles
that abortion is baby murder, has basically come out and said, stop fucking talking about abortion. We need to give it up. It is so unpopular that we're just losing across the board.
Yeah,
that and the anti-LGBT stuff. So I guess the only saving grace from all this is that it looks like most people, even people that are conservatives, agree.
I hope so, man. It just I mean, makes you nervous.
It's destroying the Republican Party right now.
Good, man. So anyway, that was just the last thing I wanted to sort of bring up, the last current event piece. But it's been an interesting couple of weeks. There's a lot going on.
Yep. No, but all right. It's 8:45. I'm tired.
Yeah.
I gotta go bed soon.
You know, I will say, I'm always impressed by our ability to fill some fucking time. I always forget that we're friends first and co-hosts second, and it's easy enough for us to chat for an hour.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I know, right?
Well, thank you guys for listening. As I said, Evan and I are both hard at work on our respective projects, and we just wanted to put an episode out because we missed you. And
you guys have been really liking the ones where we just talk about shit.
Yeah,
God damn.
I think the last episode was
fuck out of the Dalai Lama episode.
So yeah, I think it's always in our best interest and more fun to just when we can get together and put shit out, we just do it, whether our projects are done or not. That's the other side of it, is I think that our projects have gotten more ambitious as we've progressed in the show, and the scope of what we're trying to do has gotten bigger, and you've been really appreciative of that too. Like the Mongols episodes have been great. I think some of the stuff that Evan's putting out is going to immediately be some of our most popular stuff that we've ever done. So yeah, anyway, just as always, I just like to end on an appreciative note. Our listeners are the fucking coolest, and sometimes I, like, stop myself when I'm just, like, doing my day job and, like, whatever, and I stop and I'm just like, oh, it's fucking cool to think that there's just, like, a few hundred people out there all over the world who, like our shit and enjoy what we do, and this, like, little thing that I started with my friend.
We like hearing about it, too.
Yeah, we fucking
people reach
sure
out,
do.
I always like that.
We sure do. So anyway, I hope you guys have a great rest of the week, and yeah, keep your ear to the ground because there's more cool shit coming.
We're coming back at you.
We will be back with you soon. Have a good night or day or whatever, and we love you.